good. We're recording. Awesome, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to record this as well, turn it into content. I guess in a sense, it's a way that I generate leads in and of itself, is I try to document everything so that I can recreate it, redistribute it, market it to generate more revenue. So title of today's call is going to be 23 ways to get leads. Whoever controls the leads controls the cash. So ultimately, just to give you a little bit of background story before we jump in, the whole birth and creation of my new company, EIP, really came from me spending 7 years being codependent upon another company and going through the ropes, I should say, of entrepreneurship, or what they would really call entrepreneurship, where you depend on somebody else to generate leads, create systems, infrastructure for your business. Because real legitimate entrepreneurship, when I define it very simply, is you are resourceful. You are the individual. You're the one that identifies problems, the bigger problem that you're able to identify, provide a solution, and then you're able to monetize off of the solution that you provide based off the problem that you solve. And so I spent 7 years doing all of this sales work, sales system building, leadership development, and all these different things, and making a couple $1 million from the time I was 22 to 25 years old, just to realize I truly wasn't, doing anything legitimate. You know what I mean? Like I was looking at my business, analyzing my future, and I was like, you're doing everything an entrepreneur would do or is doing, but you're not getting compensated, nor are you building, your own business. And it really started with, the biggest fear and the biggest separator that I've seen that holds people back from sales and capitalizing in life and building something bigger is the fear of lack of resources. Well, what if I don't get enough leads? What if I don't get good leads? All of these low-level minded questions, and I shouldn't even say low level, more so I say low level because of the fact that the level that you're at just limits you to based off of, the mindset that you have where you're at right now. So if you're thinking to yourself, man, I can't figure out how to get leads. I don't know how to you're limiting yourself and putting yourself in this box and this mindset of oh, I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. I think individuals, they make it very complex and realize it's a lot simpler than what you think it is. So we're going to jump right in. Not a mindset call. I don't need to motivate, nor do I need to inspire. I think hopefully the individuals getting on this call are looking for a lot more logical advice to scale and grow your business. Yeah, so this is a money call. So you don't need to so listen, guys, you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your leads. So today I'm going to give you guys 23 ways to generate leads. No matter where you're starting from, you're going to be able to generate leads. Even if you're broke, busy, or have a lot of money as well, and you just don't know where to put all the money because you're cashing out. So let me tell you this. First thing is the law of leads. Leads are oxygen. Whoever controls the leads controls the cash, the schedule, the confidence in the company. If you don't have leads, you're just hoping somebody's going to call you, and that's not going to happen. Hope is not a legitimate business strategy. Does that make sense? So first things first, we're going to go through 3 different frameworks. Number 1 is the lead ladder. So there are 5 levels of lead control. Think of it like climbing a ladder. The higher you go, the more control you have. The first level is you hustle. So think of that as DMs, cold messaging, utilizing contacts. Think of just direct messaging individuals. So literally DMs, but contacts, different forms of what doesn't cost you any money, but it does cost you your time and it costs you your ego. And I will audit individuals, and I'll audit myself, and I'll ask them, hey, listen, how much money did you make this week? And are you happy with the money that you've made this week? And they're like, no, I've made, a couple $1,000, $10,000, $15,000 this week, but I know my potential is hundreds of thousands. And then I ask them, well, how many people did you reach out to through DMs, through your contacts? If you had to grade yourself 1 through 10, you'd be surprised the number of 1s and 2s that I get, and that individuals will give themselves as well. Anytime I have a bad day or a bad week, I don't have to get emotional about it and say my product sucks now, my leads suck now. It's more than likely your activity sucked for that day, that week, and you put yourself in this mindset, in this frame set that you can only use one source of leads. That's dumb. There's no other way to put it. That's dumb. Number 2, you attract. So the second level to that ladder is you attract. And so referrals, content, your name is getting around. This is you just doing a good work of increasing your presence. That's why I put so much of an emphasis on creating content, documenting content, and distributing content, because it doesn't necessarily cost you any money to make content. If I were to grade or audit every single one of you in regard to how much content you've made this week and pushed out to sell your product, your service, what do you sell? If people don't know what you sell, you don't want to sell what you sell. you don't actually want to make money. Like, people know I'm in life insurance. People know that I have a media company. I'm constantly marketing that I'm in life insurance, that I'm selling life insurance, that I have a media company, and that we provide media services. So number 3, you own a pipeline. You're tracking names, you're following up, you control who sees you. 4, you pay to play. So this would be ads. So this is where money starts to come in, and you start to think to yourself, well, how can I automate my systems more and really start to dial in more of that cold outreach, but on a multiplied level. So that's going to be ad shout outs, influencer collaborations, which I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on over the last couple of years. The influencer collaborations have just now started to pay off for me. I haven't really tracked the metrics in regard to the influencer collaborations for the actual return in my insurance business, because that's probably turned into a lot more recruiting than I can't track that overnight. That's something that happens over years of the relationships that I've been introduced to or I've made through collabing with individuals and me investing money to collaborate, attend some type of networking event. Just this past, I think over the next 12 months, including, I should say, the next 6 months, including these past 6 months, I think the media company that I run will generate over $500,000 of top line revenue just from collaborations that I spent 3 years building and investing without getting a dollar in return. In fact, I was losing $10 to $20, sometimes $50,000 a month. Now, I worked my way up to be able to afford to do so. So those of you that are at square one and you're like, I'm broke, I don't have any money, I can't even think in regard to collaborations and investing into paid ads, collaborations, different types of social media shout outs, you don't have the money to do so. You start where you're at. I don't know where you're at on the ladder. If you have no money, like if you don't have $10,000 of cash flow coming in, or you don't have 10,000, 20,000, whatever your number is of money in the account, then kind of assess yourself where you're at on the ladder, and then you obsess with where you're at, and that's what you need to do. So the next piece is you own a machine. So owning a machine is your system creates leads without you touching anything. So your system creates leads without you touching anything. So now you've internalized and built a lead machine. So now when I assess the model that I've built now, we have leads that'll generate from advertisements. We have leads that'll generate from warm place marketing, referral marketing, affiliate marketing. Pretty much if you don't all have the list of the 23 ways on to generate leads, I'll send it to you guys. You could just DM me on Instagram and I'll send you the actual list. Every single one of these ways I'm going to go to generate leads for you guys now, we generate in some way, shape, or form, and then we sell them now as well. So not only are we able to teach people how to generate leads, we generate leads, people get an ROI off our leads. So we've created our own lead machine. In the very beginning of the call, I told you guys, whoever controls the leads controls what? Controls the cash. So if you don't control the leads, if you don't control the cash, aren't you just living in a glorified slavery model? That's kind of how I looked at it. Towards like my last couple years in the captive insurance space, I was like, am I not just a glorified slave? I'm just a very highly paid employee. I don't have control over anything, right? Okay, so let me go into the second framework. So the first one was the lead ladder. The second one is the trust pyramid. Before someone buys from you, they have to trust you. So number one is content. They see you. I see so many individuals fail on posting content, and it's the first place you start and it costs you nothing. It doesn't cost you any money. What does posting content cost you? I feel stupid. When's the last time you posted about your business? Seriously, I'm genuinely asking every single one of you. Like, put in the chat if you have balls or if you have confidence, courage. When's the last time you posted about your business? So you can't complain about not making money. Imagine this. Imagine Starbucks, and I really don't want to pick on anybody. So let me pick on myself, and then you pick on yourself if you'd like. Imagine Starbucks, some multi-billion-dollar enterprise, saying they shut down marketing for 4 or 5 days. How much money would they lose? How much money? And another thing, Joseph, I don't want to pick on you, but I promise you, if your clientele is human beings, you're leaving money on the table. Life insurance applies to human beings. If you were selling dog insurance, I'd say maybe not. You know what I mean? Dog food. But even then, like what are we talking about? Like, if I showed you around this room right now, all these products in here were manufactured by a human being or some human being that owns some robotic factory and then distributed and sold through marketing. People don't just look up these stupid brown chairs and say, I want to buy those brown chairs. 99.99%, 100% of everything that's bought has been marketed. And someone had the same mindset as you. I don't want to make content. I don't want to market the product. You not marketing the product is costing you potentialized losses of millions of dollars. Like you guys should imagine this. This kind of put it into perspective as well in regard to not posting content. Is anybody in a relationship, married? So imagine this. Imagine your spouse never posts you. If your spouse isn't posting you, this is typically an indicator or not showing you off or, always trying to hide you. Imagine your spouse was always trying to hide you. How would that make you feel? Are you not proud of me? Right? Red flag. So if your spouse never wants to be seen with you at all, some people get into sales and get into business and don't want to be seen with their spouse. And I'm not talking about your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. I'm talking about your business. When you sign a 1099 contract, when you become an entrepreneur and you start to generate your revenue through commission, you're saying that I do to a business through thick and thin, through health and disaster, through no matter what. I'm committed to you and I pray that you're committed to me. But how can it be a one-sided relationship? You want to get millions of dollars out of this business and you're not showing up every single day, doing something that costs you nothing. Sometimes the most meaningful things in a relationship is just doing the things that don't cost anything. Saying I love you, giving each other a kiss, different things like that. This isn't a relationship, mentoring call either. This is a lead call, but it's easy for me to reference and relate it to because if you don't fall in love and get obsessed with your business, nobody else will come do it for you. And you'll constantly be in the hole, fighting out of the hole, thinking to yourself, when am I ever going to be unbroke? The day that you take your business as serious as you want to get paid out of it is the day that you're going to get unbroke. That's when you start to really climb out of the hole and you never go back into it. The day that I said I'm done, just depending on others to provide me one lead source and tell me what I can do, what I can't do, is the day that I really started to become financially free. I could look myself in the mirror and know that no matter what, I can make money this week, this month, this year, because I'm willing to do whatever it takes. The second piece of the trust pyramid, social proof. Once you start getting results, people see results, they start to believe you more. Number 3, it's press. So Google says that you're legit. Articles say that you're legit. Press says that you're legit. I started to invest into press probably 3 or 4 years ago. Has anybody invested into their online presence? If I Googled any of you, would you pop up? Any articles? Any Google panels? Any validation that would make me encouraged to want to do business with you? Would I even know you? Do you guys all know this just costs money? Like I grew up thinking that social media, influence, followings, 99% of the following on social media, the Google press and different things like that, it's all bot. The person you think is famous from your town that is not a professional athlete and is maybe making $500,000 a year and is the richest guy or girl to come out of your town, he or she is not famous. They bought into some type of influencer group, some type of online site that provides bots, and it boosts up and it engages their content. How do I know? I've done it. Everybody that I know that isn't some like superstar athlete or like people aren't talking about them, it's a good indicator that they're not actually famous. They bought it. But people don't care what's good. They buy what looks good. It's perception that sells. You just don't look like you're doing anything. And tell me, well, I don't want to fake it till you make it. It's not a matter of faking it till you make it. Be honest about it. Hey, I'm buying into this press. I'm buying into this social media engagement. This is what I'm doing. I'm very transparent about what it is I do, how I do it, and why I do it. Number 4 is podcasts. Individuals start to see you on targeted podcasts, and targeted podcasts over time that's generated me more money and more leads than I could ever imagine. Is getting the right people on the podcast, getting on the right podcasts, and really in the very beginning, just saying yes to every podcast as long as it doesn't absolutely compromise your morals and your views. But you have to look at it as like you're absorbing somebody's audience. You're receiving somebody's audience, and it really doesn't cost you anything, an hour of your life, half hour of your life. Number 5 is the strongest piece of the trust pyramid. This is referrals. So someone that trusts you is going to refer individuals to you. So someone they trust says you're the person to go to. If you're not generating referrals, I actually got this statistic probably a couple months ago. I believe it is something along the lines of over 50% of referrals are willing to typically buy whatever service or product that they were referred to buy, but only 10% of sales agents, entrepreneurs ask for referrals. Here's another on-the-spot quiz to kind of ask yourself, when's the last time you asked for referrals? How many referrals did you ask for yesterday? How many people did you ask for referrals yesterday? Put that in the chat. So if you're not happy with your money, put in the chat, engage and interact with me. Because most of the time when people get on my calls, they're not happy with their money. Because that's what I get on the calls for. That's why I buy mentorship. I'm not happy with my life. How many referrals did you ask for yesterday? How many people did you talk to? Jonah said 3 or 4. Talia, 25. Did you collect 25 or you asked 25 people? Joseph, 1. Christian Dean, 5. Okay. So just to put it in perspective, listen, I don't think you need to talk to a million people every single day. Obviously, it's not possible. But you should do as many reps as possible every single day. Talk like this. This is for the people. If you have if you don't have money to put into leads or ads and to build your own lead machine, if you're not spending all of your free time doing the free things to generate revenue, you don't want to get rich. That's what I tell myself. I have to remind myself, if you aren't doing these things that don't cost you more money, they just cost you more time and more ego, then you actually don't want to level up. You're comfortable being where you're at. As soon as you say you're done sacrificing, and that's the line you're not going to cross, that's humiliating. I'm not willing to do that. I don't feel like reaching out to family and friends. I don't feel like reaching out to strangers. I don't feel like posting social media content on my business product. That's fine. Stay where you're at financially and just wait 10 years, 20 years. I don't know how long it's going to take you, but I promise you it is going to take you way longer than you sucking it up and sacrificing and doing what it takes. And it's not a mindset. It's a logical, like the math is the math. The more human beings you reach out to, the more money you're going to make. And the less you reach out to, the less money you're going to make. The third framework is the 3x3 law, which is basically what I just started to talk on. And this is called the volume law. So this is the most basic money rule for anyone starting out. So I would write this down if you're not happy with your money or you're in a bad position right now. Number 1, every single day you should send 3 DMs to generate revenue. Whether that's short form revenue, you're selling the product, or long form and you're recruiting. Number 2 is follow up with 3 people. That's another massive statistic. I believe 70% or plus more. I remember seeing this study done probably a little bit over a year ago. 70% of individuals that buy from a follow-up. Some sales representative, some entrepreneur followed up with them. How many people are you following up with? I can't tell you how much money I've made through following up with people. As soon as you tell me you're somewhat interested, I will follow up with you for the rest of your life until you block me. And it's literally the Jordan Belfort. Like, you're either going to buy or you're going to die. That's you better not show interest. That's exactly how I got Gally. I think she liked one of my stories back, and I was like, done. Now she's mine. I promise. I'm a psycho. That's made me money, got me the girl of my dreams. If you show interest, it's done. You know what I mean? Like, don't come on my page showing interest. When it comes to products and services, obviously I'm off the market now when it comes to women. So follow up with 3 people. The third piece of the 3x3 volume law. Post 3 pieces of value. A story, a quote, a result, some form of content. 3 pieces across different platforms on the same platform every single day. So the challenge for you guys that are like, I'm pissed off on where I'm at right now, is I want you to do this volume law for the next 30 days. So the 30-day 3x3 volume law for you. And I would love for you guys to document this. Tristan told me to do this. It is June 19th, and then follow up with me 30 days from today. And I'd love to see your testimony. If it's good, I will put it on my social media. If it sucks, I might also put it on my social media. Say this, this guy is still broke because he's not willing to do the work. Okay, let's get into the 23 ways to generate leads, and I'm going to go through these quickly, and I'll just tell you my favorite ones. Number 1 is cold leads. So guys, you're broke. You're not stupid. This is something I have to remind myself all the time. You're broke. You're not stupid. Don't get the 2 twisted. You're not dumb. You're not stupid. You're not failing. Life isn't over. You're at level 1. Guess what, guys? Everybody starts at level 1, unless you're a trust fund baby. Then you start at level 10. But you're broke. You're not stupid. So listen, number 1, cold DMs. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to send 100 a day. Someone will reply. I send DMs every day. Do I send 100 a day? No. But I send DMs every day. Push comes to shove, I'm going to send DMs out. I'm going to contact individuals. Facebook groups is number 2. Join niche groups, drop value, DM the people who engage. You can do different types of groups. It costs you no money. Instagram comments cost you no money. Engage in comment sections of accounts your audience is going to follow, post content daily. These are all different things that you can do. So number 1 is take shots. Number 2 is content. 3 is contacts. Reconnect with your existing network. Remind them what you do. Again, if your existing network doesn't know what you do, then you don't care about your business that much. And you really, quite frankly, don't care about the position that you're in. 4 is referrals. Ask every client or contact for a referral. There's going to be way more trust, way less resistance in the lead generation. 5, incentivize referrals. This is one of my favorites. This has made me money since I was 12 years old and started selling. So around like 11 or 12 years old, I remember I started to sell different things and make money. And I would tell people, hey, Joe, if you refer somebody to buy this off of me, I'm going to give you this, or I'm going to give you that. Send her to buy this. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. I took that into life insurance. And anytime the lead sucked, I would still make money every single day because I would just give a little of the money back. I would use a gift card program. I would use whatever was legally acceptable based off the state that I was selling in to give back. And I would incentivize for people to refer me business. That's how the media business did a little over 70,000 last month. I spent this much on leads, but I did spend a couple $1,000s on referral incentives. Oh, you referred this individual. Here's $1,000 for you. The more you can give back and you can incentivize to others, the more they're going to be willing to give you leads. Like if I told Brandon, I was like, hey, listen, think of 2 different scenarios. Hey, Brandon, listen, I sell a media package. It's $50,000. Anybody refer to me, I'm going to close them. Or option 2, hey, Brandon, I have a media package where I get individuals' podcasts, Google panels, different press articles, et cetera, and help them blow up their brand legitimately, opposed to these gurus that do nothing for them. And anybody you send me, I'm going to give you $10,000. That's 20% of that. Which one do you think is more motivating for Brandon? What would be more motivating for you? It's 20% of the revenue, right? So put that into perspective. That's probably hands down one of my favorites. 6 is ads, paid traffic to a funnel, fastest way to scale if done right. So I don't recommend starting out with ads. If you don't know ads, I recommend starting with free, going into incentivized referrals, and scaling from there. 7, talking to people in real life. Opportunity is everywhere. When's the last time you went up to somebody in person? People, we live in such a hardcore technology age where people are scared to go out and talk in person. My first 2 years in sales was in person, door to door. And then prior to meeting Gally, I challenged myself as a man every single day, no matter what, I would communicate and go and talk to people. I know Gally's on the call, but I would go, if I wanted to talk to a girl, I would talk to her in person like a man. I'm not going to just text you. I have the confidence to come up and ask you 6 a.m. in the gym, what's your phone number? And I had this mindset that if I did that first thing to start my day, what 99% of men aren't willing to do, when I go hit the phones, when I go knock on doors, you think I'm going to be scared? I start the day with a no or a yes, and it doesn't matter because I'm really just getting over that fear. I don't know why people are scared. Talk to people. When's the last time you went up to somebody? Ask them, what are they doing? What do you do for work? How can we do business together? If you leave your house and you see strangers, you see opportunities, those are dollar signs that you're leaving on the table. Maybe they don't buy for you, but they know someone that will buy from you. Number 8 is sales affiliates, commission-based promoters who drive traffic for you. That's just sales incentives on steroids. Number 9, networking events, build face-to-face trust, follow-up is everything. I was telling Gally, I've probably made, and now we have together, at least 100,000, at least more than what I put into networking events. I would say at least a couple 100,000 I've made from networking events and put into networking events 100,000 minimum over the last 6 years. So it's not 6-7 years, not a lot of money. Niche consulting. This doesn't really apply. This is number 10. This doesn't really apply, but once you're making a reasonable amount of money, I believe it's minimum 500,000 a year, you can sell access to your strategy and use that as a lead generation form. So consulting within a space that you have expertise and you have results. I had made probably $5 million since I graduated high school from 18 until it was about 24 until I started consulting within the insurance space. I don't give plumbing consulting. I don't give how to build a podcast studio consulting. I specialize in insurance and media. Nothing else. All these online coaches that do other shit, you should stay away from the individual that wants to consult and doesn't have results. And then you yourself have no business consulting without results. What results do you have? If you don't have a shit ton of results, you should be locked in on developing, increasing your results. So then you have something to talk about. Because the only person you can help is the person that's done less than you. So that's why I always was obsessed with increasing my actual levels. Like, why would I give anybody advice? I haven't done $1 million in income yet. What are you giving advice on? You don't, it'd be like me going to the fighting gym and getting advice from someone I beat their ass. Why are you giving me advice when you're broke? You know what I mean? Like, if you're only making a couple $1,000s a week, what advice do you have? Until it's a couple $1,000s a day, there really is nothing substantial for you to say, right? And that's not to be mean, it's to encourage. Number 11, going live, raw, real time. I've literally, Gally and I both have made money from this, or at least generated leads from this. Going live, answering questions, being personable with individuals. It helps build an audience, which is basically building a warm lead pack, just people that are constantly tuning into you. They want to work with you. They want to know what you're doing and end up buying from you. People buy from people they feel like they're close to, like feel like they're family. Number 13, here is my second favorite, or close to being my first favorite. Re-engage everyone you've already sold. That is the highest return on investment. I can't tell you how much money. I think just this last week, it was an extra 10, 15 grand following up with people already spent money with me. I don't care if you bought a pair of shoes from me when we were 14 years old. That means you trusted me. So I'm going to go back and see if I can sell you again. Guys, go back to the individuals that already bought from you. There's these insurance companies out there, these captive companies that pride themselves in having this POS, and they push it as their best lead. It's just somebody that already bought from the company. That just means they have more trust. Why aren't you freaking out every single day and talking to every single person that ever spent money with you and going through all the things that you've already sold them? Hey, how's everything going? I remember you bought this. How's everything? Like, is there any exposure in your life right now? I'm doing life insurance. I'm doing this. I know a guy that does this. Like, I put that joke on my story the other day. Some weird fake account was trying to sell me some fake jewelry or whatever. And I said, no, I'm looking for, war animals, whatever. And I joked, but I said on my story, I was like, listen, the key in sales from you becoming an amateur to a master is just saying yes. Client says, I need this. You can't do it. It don't matter. Yeah, we can do it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find the guy that can do it and say, hey, I got this client for you, but I need a cut. I could sell everything. I could sell jets. I could sell real estate. I could sell everything. Why? Not because I have the legitimate product or the legitimate service, but more than likely I know a guy that does. Yeah, I can get it done. I'll get back to you on the pricing. Exactly. Wholesale. I'm making money every day. I got to make money every day. There's no way. Let's go into the next piece. 14, lead magnets. So that is free PDFs, tools in exchange for contact info. Guess what this was? Not everybody hopped on the call, but every time I run, hey, I got free information to give out, it's a lead magnet. So this in itself is a way to generate leads. So maybe I got 5 leads out of this. People that don't already work with me. Oh, well, it's still leads. And now you get to know me, I get to know you, and then every once in a while, someone's making a good bit of money and they want to do this. They want to partner in my insurance company. They want more media opportunity. So it's a lead tool. What does it cost me? Cost me a half hour, an hour of my time. Really doesn't cost me much of my ego because I've got the results. So now it's like a pride booster. Doesn't cost me anything. Number 15, YouTube SEO. So YouTube search engine optimization. Answer questions your clients Google. Evergreen inbound. So guys, super simple. Just ask ChatGPT, what are your clients, your target market? What are they Googling a lot? So those of you guys selling life insurance, you should be asking ChatGPT, what are people looking for life insurance Googling a lot? Then you go answer that question in video format, tell it to help you make a video under 30 seconds because people have such a horrible attention span. And then you put it on YouTube, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram. Now you eliminated content and you eliminated search engine optimization, which means it's very intentional. That means your target market is already Googling that information. They're looking for that information. The people that you want, it's like hunting, identifying what animal do you want to hunt? Where are they going? That's working smarter, not just harder. 16, similar to this, webinars, so another lead magnet tool. And 17, local search engine optimization, setting up a Google My Business, showing up locally for free. So it's kind of putting your business in the local area. 18, PR and media. So we talked about in the very beginning as well, authority positioning through Forbes, podcast, press. That's an investment. So I recommend that when the money is coming in. 19, giveaways and contests, viral growth tactics if you structure them right. So this is another way to generate leads, is doing giveaways and contests. Hey, I'm doing a giveaway this month. We're doing a contest this month. If you send me X amount of referrals, if you do this, you do that, here's what we're going to do. 20, another one of my favorites, testimonials. Showcase client wins, transformations, and success stories to build your social proof and attract inbound interest. 21, strategic partnerships. Partner with businesses who share your audience. For life insurance people, that's real estate, tax, mortgage, different things that are financially related that maybe you don't touch. And 22 is agent recruiting machines. Teach every agent how to build their own lead machine inside your system. So that is going to become one of my favorites. We haven't really successfully done that yet, but we're also only 5 months into business. But once we start teaching other agents how to fully become their own entrepreneurs and build out their own lead systems and master a few of these ways to 23 ways to generate leads, it's a done deal. Now you've built an ecosystem of entrepreneurs. There's nothing more valuable than building an ecosystem of entrepreneurs, getting people around you that don't need anything from you. That's the most valuable person. Who in your life right now brings you value and doesn't need shit from you? They could just print money, don't need anything from you. Those are my favorite people. Hey, don't need anything from you. Just love your friendship, love our partnership, love to be able to bounce ideas off of one another's mind. I actually bring just as much value as you do. That is an equal business partner. That is super valuable. Doesn't happen overnight. And you yourself have to put pressure on yourself on evolving and growing so that you can match the individuals that are growing within your system or that you want to partner with. And the last one is direct mail, targeted high net worth mail for ultra personalized outreach. And I think ultimately, again, that's a higher ticket item that I don't recommend getting into until you've done research, gotten a hold of individuals that have generated ROI from direct mail. But it's something that can be done as well. So the whole reason of 23 ways to generate leads and build a multi-million-dollar business or just build a profitable business for you guys is to, one, remind you and remind myself that you don't have a skill set issue and you don't have an intelligence issue. If you're not making the money that you want to make, you have a human being issue. You're not getting in front of enough human beings. And that is typically every single human entrepreneur and sales rep. You have a lead issue. And it's not that because someone's giving you some shit lead or something like that. You have to take control over your lead generation because anything in this world that is completely codependent dies off. Any group of people, any group of animals that is absolutely codependent, you take an animal that was raised in the zoo, codependent on feeding, and you try to rehabilitate it into the jungle, it dies. So you're either an employee or you're an entrepreneur. There really is no in between. You either are codependent or you're independent. And the number one rule when it comes to lead generation is your number one long-term goal should be to become your own lead company. If you own your brand, own your funnel, own your attention, that's how you scale without asking permission. Until you take control of your leads, it's asking for permission. It's being an employee. And you almost have to brainwash yourself to be disgusted with yourself for having any codependency. Like one thing I hated growing up on food stamps, I hated codependency. I hated that we were codependent on the government for assistance. Regardless of us needing it, I hated it. I despised it. And so I think of, myself in entrepreneurship, it's like the less that I can codepend on others to have to help me and wipe my ass, I know the more that I'm going to be able to generate value for others, myself, and the people that depend on me. I don't want to be the individual that's codepending on others. I want to be the independent person that the select few individuals that I select get to codepend on me. You're either the employee or the entrepreneur. So that was 23 ways to generate leads and build a multi-million-dollar business. I hope you guys liked and enjoyed that. I will cut this up and get it onto YouTube as well. So appreciate you guys. If you need anything, want any more advice or help in the media space, press, podcasts, etc., or if you're doing more than $1 million a year in life insurance, we could talk about potential partnerships as long as you're not with FFL. So other than that, have a blessed day, guys.